Dave Dennis here, welcoming you back to the Radio Department's Student Stream Tutorials. In this tut, we'll be upgrading our Nicecast internet radio station's automation system from iTunes to Megaseg. Megaseg is a very powerful radio-style automation system that's incredibly easy to learn and to use. Like Nicecast, Megaseg has a well-written, comprehensive user's guide available from inside the program. It also has excellent support available if you run into problems. This tut will take you through the basics, but as always, you'll get much more out of it if you have your copy of Megaseg open while you're watching the tutorial, and if you try out each topic as we go through it. Remember, whenever you're watching video tutorials, the pause button is your best friend. It gives you the time to try out each of these topics for yourself as you're watching. If you really want to geek out and give yourself a major jump start on Megaseg and on radio in general, go through our tutorials, then take an hour or two to read all the way through the Megaseg User's Guide while you're experimenting with your own playlists in Megaseg. You'll become a power user in no time. Let's open Nicecast and change our audio source from iTunes to Megaseg. First, stop your broadcast and quit iTunes. In Megaseg, open the source drawer and select Megaseg. Now when you click the Broadcast button in Nicecast, Megaseg will open instead of iTunes, and Megaseg will become the audio source for your broadcast. Let's take a look around the main Megaseg window. At the top of the window, you may see a Club DJ-style mixer with 2 playback decks and a visual display to help with beat matching. If you don't see the mixer, click on the Mixer button to the right side of the window. It toggles the mixer view on and off. We'll talk more about the mixer later on, but for now let's hide the mixer and concentrate on the library and playlist windows. The list on the left is Megaseg's library list, and the one on the right is the current playlist. In general, we'll use the library list to find the audio we want, then move it to the playlist on the right to create our playlists. If you're just starting out with Megaseg, both windows are probably empty, so let's import some audio to play with. Click the Import button to the left of the library window to open the Import dialog. You can import audio files from any folder, or click on one of the 2 iTunes buttons to import all of your iTunes audio into Megaseg. Megaseg will ignore audio that's already been imported into Megaseg's library from the same location, so you don't have to worry about importing the same file twice. The top button only imports new tracks that have been added to your iTunes library since your last Megaseg import. The lower iTunes button imports all files from your iTunes library, except, of course, the files that you've already imported into Megaseg. You can also import audio files into Megaseg by dragging them from any folder into the Megaseg library window. When Megaseg imports audio, it doesn't make copies of the original files. It simply creates a pointer to them so it can find them when it needs to play them back or to modify them, so you don't have to worry about wasting space by having your audio files in both iTunes and Megaseg. Just remember that if you remove the original files from iTunes or from whatever folder you imported them from, Megaseg will no longer have access to them. For most people, iTunes is the easiest way to store audio files for Megaseg. iTunes makes it easy to add and to correct the track information you'll need for broadcast. Things like title, artist, album, and genre. iTunes also makes it easy to convert the files into whatever file format you decide to use in Nicecast. We'll be adding even more radio-specific track information once the files are imported into Megaseg's library. Once your iTunes library is imported into Megaseg, you'll see a list of all of your imported tracks in the library window to the left of the main screen. You'll find a small box at the top of the screen that determines how many lines of information you'll see for each track, from 1 to 3. You can sort your view of the tracks by clicking Library and selecting a sort order. The current sort order is displayed just to the right of the library label. Just a little further to the right is the category display. This shows you what categories are currently displayed in the library view. Click on Category or the Category button and the library window will change from the library view to the category view. The default category is All, but you can limit what tracks are shown in your library view by selecting one or more categories from the category list. You'll find many default categories from Megaseg and categories created from your iTunes genre tags. You can add your own categories, delete or change existing categories, and lots more through the Edit button at the bottom of the category view. Categories in Megaseg are a very powerful tool, enabling complex dynamic playlists, easy cross-category searches, and much more. The user's guide has lots more information about this powerful tool, and we'll get back into it more later. But for now, let's get back into the library view by clicking on the category bar at the top of the category list. The Playlists button will change the library window to Playlist View, where you can see your iTunes playlists and any Megaseg playlists you've saved. Again, to get back to the library view, click the Playlists bar at the top of the Playlists list. You can also search your Megaseg library by typing directly into the search button to the left of the library list. You can search for the track's title, artist, album, year, or beats per minute. You can use partial searches, or if you want to search for an exact phrase, use parentheses. The Hotkeys button opens a dialog that will enable you to create keyboard shortcuts that instantly play audio files at the touch of a keyboard button. This is great for sound effects or for any sounds you'd like to have quick access to. To build a basic playlist for broadcast or for your own personal listening, we'll be moving tracks from the library window on the left to the current playlist window on the right. Let's start with an already existing playlist from iTunes. Click on the Playlists button and select an iTunes playlist. Now you can click on Append to move the entire iTunes playlist to the current Megaseg playlist. Or you could double-click a single track and move it to the end of the current playlist. Or you could shift-click a range of tracks and drag them to the current playlist. You can do the same from the Categories view or from the Library view. To delete tracks from your playlist, simply drag them back to the library window or select them and hit your keyboard's Delete key. The Clear button to the right of the current playlist clears the entire current playlist window, not just the selected tracks in the current playlist. The top slot in the current playlist window is always the Q or Next position containing the next track to be played, and it's labeled Next. As you scroll through your playlist, the Q position will always stay visible. It's easy to rearrange your playlist's track order. You can drag the tracks around to place them wherever you'd like, or double-click any track in the playlist to instantly move it to the Next or Q position. There's also a Random button that will randomize the entire playlist order, including the Q position. You can have your playlist jump to a new position by selecting a track and clicking the Skip button at the bottom of the window. Your playlist will skip to the selected track and continue from there. You'll also find two Q position arrows that will shift the playlist up or down, changing the Q position to a later point in the playlist, or even an earlier point, allowing you to replay some or all of the playlist. Once you've got a playlist ready to go, click Start Playlist. The track in the Q or Next position will move up into the player and start playing, and all other tracks will move up a slot. You can run Megaseg in full auto mode, live assist mode, or manually. Switch the auto seg toggle switch to off for manual operation. Now when each track ends, Megaseg will wait for you to press segue to start the next track. For fully automated or live assist operation, switch the AutoSeg switch to on. Now Megaseg will automatically segue from track to track, playing through the entire playlist. When you listen to your automated playlist, you may notice that some of your segues don't sound quite right. You may hear long pauses between tracks, or a track may seem to start too early, covering the end of the vocal on the previous track, for example. This is happening because we haven't cleaned up or set up our audio tracks yet. It's important to understand that automated audio playback systems only work well if the audio tracks you're using are set up properly. Fortunately, Megaseg makes this easy to do. In our next tutorial, I'll show you how, then go through using a microphone with Megaseg and get into more advanced features like schedules, events, and rules to fine-tune your stream and control its sound, even when you're not around. Hopefully you've been pausing the tutorial to try out what you've been learning for yourself as we go through it. If not, be sure to open Megaseg, import some audio, and create a few playlists to listen to, preferably within the next few hours. Otherwise, much of what you've just learned will probably evaporate before you get a chance to actually use it. When you're done, you can move on to the next Student Stream tutorial.